Hi everyone, welcome to my review of Wes Craven's Scream 2 from 1997. So yes, we're back once again, returning to the Scream franchise, and yes, a few weeks ago now, kind of rewatching Scream 2, and I had, yes, it's been a few months in between these reviews, but I had a break, around December and January from watching, different horror films, in that sense, Christmas, all that kind of stuff. So yes, just, it's been a while, but I look forward to discussing this film and sharing my kind of general thoughts on this film. But of course there will be a kind of a spoiler alert for this film. I'm going to say that now. If you haven't seen this film, I simply recommend seeing it first and then kind of coming back to this discussion, this review, because I will kind of get into plot details and kind of character reveals, going through this. But yes, with all that said, let's kind of share my thoughts, and I look forward to once you've seen this and stuff, in the comments, to kind of, yes, share your thoughts as well, and we can kind of discuss this film, and yes, just, Wes Craven, and all this kind of stuff, honouring the great Wes Craven, the true legend, of course, and yes, once again, returning to direct this film, of course, Marco Beltrami, once again providing the score, and of course Kevin Williamson, the main kind of screenwriter here. So yes, very, very interesting indeed. A year after the first Scream film, and set, of course, a year after the kind of events of the first, and basically, this film, it's kind of this once again Sydney, kind of. Mainly being targeted, of course, with these copycat murders, from the first film. So yes, while also being, this kind of, once again, satire, slasher films, and really, once again, a celebration of cinema, and particularly, kind of horror films, slashers, but elsewhere as well. I think it's just sequels. This really, at times geniusly kind of dissects, kind of sequels and their relation to, kind of the original film in a kind of a franchise, a trilogy, of course, and just really just kind of celebrating this and the love of cinema, and kind of yes, just celebrating the tropes, as opposed to kind of calling them out and kind of saying they're kind of flaws in that sense, necessarily. I guess this one is just kind of celebrating and really drawing attention to, and really having a good time with all these different tropes, and things that would be quite common in perhaps a sequel, especially a horror sequel. But it's a very, very interesting film, and as I say, I have great memories going through this, and just for me, the kind of Scream original trilogy, the first three films, in this franchise, very, very nostalgic, for me, just going through these films and having a great time, with these overall. I think just a trilogy that I love, and I do think Scream 3 is one that is definitely not bad at all. I do like that film, of course, and a very, very unpopular film, and you could say Scream 2 is very unpopular at times, and overall it's not really too liked. You could say it's more of a cult following that it has. Despite doing very, very well, the box office kind of around 170 million, of course, and just very successful film, of course, and the hype around this, and there were some things, kind of leaks, but this done very, very well, here at the box office. But yes, despite that, the critical kind of reception is not too strong. But for me, Scream 2, it's just such a great, kind of sequel. Yes, I do think this is a great film, and just really kind of a comforting film for me to watch, and just I think kind of playing on drawing on the first film, and kind of creating this unique sequel, and just very, very meta, of course, once again, and we have, for example, a whole scene dedicated as well, not just to horror sequels, but just kind of discussing the nature of film sequels, and they mention, of course, The Godfather Part 2, Aliens, an Alien, of course, just kind of comparing different films, and their sequels, and saying, they're kind of inferior or superior, I guess, to the original. And I just love that scene, for example. And you've got characters like Randy, of course, played by, once again, Jamie Kennedy in this film, and such a great character. I loved seeing Randy again, in this film, and I think just the team up of different characters. the kind of the banter, of course, throughout the film, it's just so pleasing. But of course, in that scene as well, we have Mickey, played by Timothy Olyphant, and of course, we'll get to that character later on in the review. But yes, just kind of a host of new characters in this film. Jerry O'Connell as well, playing a different character in the film, and kind of the partner of Sydney in this film. And yes, once again, Neve Campbell returning to this film, playing Sydney, and being 1 year since the first film, the kind of events of that, we have this different character really, in this film, Sydney, and she's more kind of cautious, I guess, more brutal, kind of really epic in this film in many regards, and she kind of instantly kind of predicts different things, and she's more naturally cautious, in this film, kind of, I guess, less open naturally to different characters, but she has this boyfriend being played by Jerry O'Connell, and it's just I guess there is this kind of mystery that runs throughout the film. Once again, who done it? But I guess this satire once again of this kind of genre, this type of film, and at the same time, it is fully investing. Just like Scream One, we have this kind of comedy, this satire, self-aware film, but it is in its own right as well. This investing narrative with different character moments, story beats, emotion and tragedy. Once again, I guess, and just as well, we have very interesting. We have the kind of moments where we have theatre, in the film, and just using this as a backdrop, as well as kind of a comment perhaps on cinema, and kind of very subtle, but I guess it's very interesting as well. From the opening sequence, we have just such a kind of fun ride of a film, and so clever, while also being very natural, kind of relaxed at times, and just really charming. This film, it's got comedy, it's got drama, and once again, kind of very surprising, I guess, in its twists, reveals, and kind of if you haven't seen this film for the first time around, it is a very much an unexpected film, despite kind of you could say going through different turns that the first film had. Does it in a very, very clever way, I guess. But the opening sequence once again is kind of you could say unrelated to the rest of the film, in the sense of characters, different characters to the rest of the film, and we have. But seeing Stab 2, this film being shown in the cinema, just a great sequence, and hilarious moments at times, but really kind of tragic as well, and kind of moving in its own way. But after that kind of opening sequence, we have very, very charming film here, kind of drawing on the first film, the characters, of course, of Sydney, and a variety of different characters, of course, Randy, as we've mentioned, once again, returning, and just being, this film buff character. I love Randy so much, and it's a shame, once again, it really is a shame that we do lose Randy in this film, and around halfway through the narrative, the film, of course, we have Randy falling and being killed. Of course, the hands of the killer, and kind of put into the van, and just a very brutal kind of moment, and always a moment where I kind of just react very strongly to, just know kind of what a shame this character kind of goes out of it here, because I would love to have seen him in perhaps the third film, because he was such a kind of great character, and I love how this film kind of ties, draws on the first film, kind of expanding on different characters, I guess, and seeing where they are a year later, but also kind of tying together different characters, their arcs, of course, and just you could say in this film as well, we have Gail and Dewey, their kind of story being coming to a close, I guess, and Scream 3 perhaps is more of a kind of once again going back, but this film in that sense, it does kind of wrap up all the different characters and their threads from the first film, and we have a wonderful kind of culmination of Gail and Dewey, their kind of romance, and their relationship in this film. I loved seeing once again Dewey return, and yes, just of course David Arquette, is great in this film, and of course Courtney Cox once again, it's just so good. I think In fact, while I think Sydney is a great character, I do once again love seeing Neve Campbell, and she created this film, and very different kind of take on the character, and I really appreciate that. I do actually think in this film, my favourite kind of relationship, kind of arc is actually Dewey and Gale, and seeing where their kind of relationship develops, kind of goes to, and just seeing how it kind of culminates is for me the most charming, I guess, kind of character relationship in the film, I think, and just the interactions in this film, and seeing how that, the kind of, at first, it is kind of awkward, their responses, and this kind of, there is this kind of friction, also kind of chemistry, I guess, and it's played so well, and, just seeing how it kind of develops, over the course of the film, and once again, kind of rekindling, this relationship, these feelings, it's just so enjoyable to see, and amidst all this kind of chaos, and these killings, we have this very for me touching romance, and just so pleasing the way it ends. Seeing them going off together, and her going into the ambulance, with Dewey. It's just such a kind of crowd pleaser. I love as well the theme, the kind of music that is used, for their relationship, and I do love this. And I know it is, kind of a piece from another film, but it's just great the way it's kind of used throughout this film. It's just stunning, and just in general, I think the Marco Beltrami score, once again, is great. It has this atmosphere to it. Just this kind of warm, uplifting feeling to the score, and just in this film, supporting as well the kind of, I guess, the kind of epic moments, of the characters, for example, of Sydney, and I think the final kind of shot of this film as well. You're seeing the music there, and the song used there is just great, and the kind of just the camera movement there, and really lingering on Sydney, and the kind of final shot, being of this character, and of course, this film really, I love the setting as well, kind of this college campus, and very a bit different to the first, but really is kind of this familiar, I guess, charm to the first film, and I just love seeing the interactions of the different characters that return, from the first. While also, kind of being introduced to new characters here, just really loving, for example, Mickey in this film. He is a very mysterious character, and watching this back, I guess it's very, I can kind of, every time I see this, it's very obvious actually at times, that this could be one of the killers at least, and obviously, as we know, he is Mickey, one of the killers, but we have a very interesting way in which Wes Craven directs this film, and keeps you guessing, I guess, and just different moments with characters and how they're framed, and placement of dialogue. I guess throughout the film, it's very much you can kind of pick up on it. When you kind of watch it again and again. But even then, it's so intricately designed. It keeps you kind of doubting, and thinking, this could be the killer, and it's kind of, and then it shifts focus, I guess. And we have Courteney as well, played by Liev Schreiber, in this film, and he kind of is so great in this film. But he returns. We have, as we remember, the kind of very brief. Subtle, mainly referred to, character, I guess, in that film, and he's on the news in that film, and in this film he is actually kind of more of a main character, and he is trying to, even though he was, kind of, I guess, released after the first film, revealed the different killers, of Sydney's mother, and different characters. Of course, we have Liev Schreiber, playing this character who kind of tries to clear his name, and I guess even though he was released, there is still the doubt, and the kind of mystery to his character, and the stigma to the character of Cotton, and he is trying to clear his name, and despite that, we have the very mysterious character here, that I guess the first time I saw this, I was kind of thinking he is definitely one of the killers. He's acting so kind of shifty, and just very very odd. But it's kind of it is this feeling, you know, in this way that it's directed and you know, kind of performed, that we have kind of variety of different characters. They could all be the suspect, and it's just very much up for grabs. I just love the final act and the way it kind of reveals these killers. Once again, 2 killers, like the first film, and you know, of course, Mickey being one. I think this is really great. As I say, in itself, you know, this kind of reveal of this character, and I think, you know, picking up on different clues early on, you know, it's very interesting to see, you know, how he is one of the killers, and it's just very satisfying and you know, cool to see. But of course, then we have you know, a great reveal as well, being that Debbie Salt, the character, as we know, the kind of reporter, you know, of the film, kind of going throughout. We have different moments of tension and comedy, of course, keeping the film being even more layered, of course, you know, different character interactions. But then we have the reveal, you know, Sydney recognises this to be Billy Loomis's mother, of course. So yes, very, very unexpected the first time I saw this, and just a great kind of, I think as well, you know, kind of tribute to many different horror films. You know, I won't kind of get into them because, you know, spoilers for them films. But yes, different, let's just say horror franchises, where of course in this film we have the mother getting revenge, you know, on a particular character, and you know, of course, Billy Loomis was of course one of the killers, as we know, for Scream 1, and just to see, you know, his mother, of course, coming back and kind of trying to get revenge on Sydney, and to kind of put her through this, and in the end to try and dispatch her, you know, is very much, I think, a great twist, and I think just the way in which this is directed throughout, and seeing, again, the different hints, for example, of this character. Perhaps you could say, you know, on one hand, this is a great twist, but, you know, I guess, you know, there's kind of perhaps less you know, information or clues throughout that this character of Debbie Salt, you know, is perhaps one of the killers, but, you know, nevertheless, it is great, and in itself, great to see the, you know, the characters' motivations, and you know, kind of drawing on once again the first film and the final act of the first film. You know, really, it kind of links it back to this, and you know, I think in that sense, for all it kind of does. To kind of you know, bring back these characters, it's slightly different to the first film. You know, they are changed, they're different, and they've kind of grown in different ways. But you know, they are kind of familiar and lovable once again. Dewey, Gale, and of course Randy being great in this film, and of course Neve Campbell once again great in this film, playing Sydney. You know, these characters returning and kind of putting them in you know, different situations, and seeing where they are a year later. And but you know, at the same time, you know, I love how it really you know, plays on you know, kind of tropes, you could say, of different horror sequels, and just slashes in general. And I think it's very compelling in its kind of working on kind of sequels and their relation to you know, an original film in a kind of a franchise or a trilogy, and just to kind of see how it kind of, you know, I think the script once again is just great, and how it kind of plays on this, and you know, in the sense of it's kind of very much self-aware and very smart, you know, in its kind of comments, I guess, and the way it kind of dissects you know, the genre, and just seeing how it kind of you know, kind of explores this and celebrates once again the tropes, you know, really is commendable, and this is the way to do it. And I think just as this kind of satire, I think is so you know, effective, and in its kind of own right as well. Thoroughly investing narrative, the characters that I can get behind once again, and you know, comedy, drama, and romance, of course, mystery, a real mystery, this one, and you know, this kind of whodunit, you know, kind of dissection once again, you know, this kind of satire, but you know, really just you know, it feels very much like a true you know, kind of sequel to the first. I think this is very much, it's not as good for me as the first, but it is a very worthy sequel, and in fact, I do think this is a great film. You know, I guess once again, you know, it is very it's not you know, too popular overall, you know, I guess, but you know, for me, this film you know, it's just great, and seeing these characters once again, and of course different kind of scenarios they're putting, but you know, I guess just seeing a returning comfort to these characters, you know, is great. And once again, you know, kind of Ghostface in this film, the way it's portrayed, you know, it's just so great, and just seeing you know, the kind of the comedy as well. Once again, with Ghostface and the different as well tragic moments throughout the narrative. I think this film overall is just stunning to behold, and I think it has some things that don't quite work perfectly. And one that comes to mind is the kind of I guess this very strange moment where, of course, Derek, as we know, the character played by Jerry O'Connell, who I've really enjoyed in this film, but we have Derek kind of getting on the tables and stuff at this this moment, and kind of singing to Sydney, and just a very strange moment. I don't think it kind of works at least in the context of this film, and the kind of placement of this scene is kind of off tone a little bit, and I think perhaps it does kind of take me out a little bit in that sense, but I can brush that aside. That is just a slight of the film, and just one or two moments like this that kind of break the tone perhaps, but for the most part, saying that this film is so well directed, and the tone and the style of this film is mostly thoroughly consistent, and I think just to get invested like this, and also be kind of taken to this world where it's self-aware, it's meta, and commenting on different horror films, different sequels, not just horror films, but a variety of sequels. The Godfather Part 2, for example, being a great kind of appearance of this, in the film, and just it gets that kind of film buff. I guess feeling, seeing these characters talking about different films and their sequels like this, being self-aware, and characters actually referencing different films that are part of cinema history. It's just so relatable, and it's just like kind of seeing or taking part in a dialogue between different, your friends perhaps, different people and just to talk about film and sequels. It's always great to kind of talk about sequels in as well in itself, and just kind of compare perhaps what is your favourite in a franchise. Do you prefer this to the original film? All this kind of stuff, and it's a great scene there, and great to kind of take part in this. I guess this celebration. That's what it is again. Just like the first film, it's kind of this celebration of cinema and horror films, the tropes of horrors, and just I think sequels and their relation to the first film in a trilogy, in a franchise, all that kind of stuff, and just I love this film so much, and just nostalgic memories, seeing this, and just being so invested in this, and just watching these films when I was younger, of course, and just great times. And I think every time I've seen this film, Scream 2, it does grow on me more and more, and I think because the first film was always kind of one that I instantly absolutely loved, and perhaps I was unsure of a few things in this, and it just I've never kind of thought this film is kind of perhaps a truly great follow-up to the first, but the last kind of few watches I really have, and I guess perhaps when I was younger I thought the first one was by far the best, and I do think that now, but I kind of had some feelings for this film. It was kind of mixed feelings. I was unsure of let's put it that way, a few things of this film, and I just kind of every time I've watched it since the kind of first few watches of this, I think it's grown me even more, and I do think this is a great film. I think it just really does most things right, as a sequel, and as a sequel to Scream, such a great legendary horror film, comedy film, and I think this film really does kind of it really is a worthy film. It's not as good as the first film for me, no, but I do think it's a great film. I think Wes Craven directs this film so well. Really hats off once again to this legendary filmmaker, and of course the script, the score as well by Beltrami. It's just so great, and seeing, of course, this very nostalgic kind of color palette as well, and just I think the visuals throughout once again are stunning. I think that the kind of the color tones to this film, and for example the characters' clothing, as well the kind of theatre sequence, sequences in this film, it really is visually stunning, and just once again, exploring and celebrating this particular art form, and just bringing this all together in the final act. It just really is. Such a kind of warm film as well. Seeing, for example, Dewey and Gale, their kind of romance, their relationship, how it kind of once again is rekindled in this film. I love seeing this, and just kind of they have this past, this chemistry, and it's kind of rekindled in this film, and you really, it culminates so well, and this kind of uplifting, magical feeling I get from the last moments of Dewey and Gale, and seeing this really organic, love story unfold. It's just so kind of satisfying, and as I say, kind of uplifting for me to see, and Sydney as well, seeing how her character has changed a little bit, from the first, and is this more kind of firm, you could say, less open and less naive character. It's really great to see, and how she has learned things from the first. But yeah, once again, just like the viewers. Us viewers, of course, are very surprising for Sydney, of course, to kind of go through this once again, and then this kind of copycat, idea of the killers, the way in which it kind of is revealed. It's just so great. It really, really is. And the final act overall is not as strong for me, as the kind of I guess first an hour and a half or so of the film. But saying that, I do love this film overall, and the final act is a good kind of campy piece of filmmaking, and very good. In fact, I think it's very enjoyable, and just very satisfying in a different way to the rest of the film had been, and seeing the way in which Mickey, and of course as well Billy Loomis's mother kind of revealed, is great, and really campy, over the top, and I just love it. And this film overall, I think for me, some would be surprised, my rating here, but it's of course my opinion, and I do love this film. Scream 2, it's just one of my kind of favourite horror sequels, really in cinema history, and I just love this film so much. A real kind of pleasing experience, and a real kind of comfort watch for me once again. And yes, my final rating for this film is a 91%. Yes, I love this film. I think again, it's not quite on the level of the first film, but it doesn't need to be. It really is just in its own kind of right, a great film. Stunning piece of cinema in so many regards. Visually, it's just stunning. The framing, the atmosphere, of course, through shots. I think the script, is great once again, and just seeing how Wes Craven directs this film. How he kind of brings it all together, and the way in which he kind of has this very particular kind of style that is familiar, of course, with the first film, but also kind of unique as well. The different kind of visual look to this film, and I guess it's more kind of intricate, in different regards to the first film. But I think the first film overall, is more of an accomplished piece of cinema, and I think it's is better shot, that film. But having said that, this film here, really is stunning in the visual department, and I think Wes Craven, knew what to do here, controlling for the most part the tone and the style of this film. It really is great to see, and great kills as well throughout. But a real tragedy. You kind of I felt every death really. Seeing for example Randy perish in this film. What a shame. Very tragic. This film in many regards, and a real kind of a final I think comment in the sense that the first film was on this kind of particular type of satire, this particular feeling that I get from this and the first film. I don't really feel that in the third Scream film, and certainly not the fourth. But having said that, I do think Scream 3, is definitely a film that I enjoy, and I do have very positive things to say here and there about that film. So yes, if you're interested in my kind of my thoughts on Scream 3, that will be perhaps in a few weeks from now, or month or so, from watching this, kind of, or uploading this video. I'll kind of watch this in a few weeks from now, and yes, I look forward to hearing your thoughts on Scream 2 and Scream 3, and eventually perhaps I can't really say when, but eventually Scream 4, and yes, of course the upcoming one as well, which will be very interesting to see when that is released as well. But yes, Scream 2 for me, is a great film. A really kind of pleasing kind of magical film for me. A great horror sequel, and meta, very clever indeed, and just charming and you know, campy, and you know, I had a great time with this once again. I think it's just a very pleasing film. I think very underappreciated overall, but you know, that's just my opinion, of course. You know, just my general thoughts, you know, on this film, and I think you know, for me, it's one that is you know, I enjoy more than perhaps, you know, many people out there. But, you know, it would be great to hear your thoughts, and do you like this film? You know, and I just, what is your kind of experience with seeing these films, and you know, Scream 2 in particular? But you know, Wes Craven films, Scream. You know, the franchise, and just, yes, horror films, you know, all kind of welcomed discussions, you know, on this video, and you know, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments, and it'd be great to discuss this, and I look forward to future discussions, you know, on this franchise. Eventually I will be doing a ranking, absolutely, you know, of kind of Wes Craven's films, and you know, that will be perhaps you know, a long time away now, and you just, I guess, something to look forward to, you know, in the near future, and yes, just to kind of go through his films, and perhaps not review every single one, but you know, definitely I will be doing a ranking at some stage, you know, of his efforts, and to kind of honour this, you know, tribute this absolute legend, this wonderful filmmaker. Of course, sadly is no longer with us, but you know, he is you know, kind of one of my favourite kind of horror filmmakers, and just really creating some of my favourites, you know, in the genre, and you know, A Nightmare on Elm Street as well. You know, just a stunning film, and the Scream trilogy, you know, in particular, it's just such a kind of pleasing, you know, set of films for me, and great memories of this. So yes, the least I can do is honour this great filmmaker, and you know, really pay tribute to this guy, and you know, once again, a wonderful you know, genius for me, and really defining my childhood, and you know, this has been great to see again, and you know, love this film so much, and really do you know, admire this, and everyone involved, of course. Once again, performances, the score, and everyone in this film, you know, really brings so much, and you know, a great film for me. And what do you think? It would be great to hear, and you know, I look forward to discussing this in the comments. And yes, I did review Scream 1 a while back now, and you know, look for that if you're interested as well in my thoughts on that film, and just go through these films if you want, you know, with me, and just, yes, you can comment if you want, and I look forward to that. So yes, as always, take care, and thanks for watching.